My father was a well-known maker of metal rooster spurs in District 6, HCM City, and he was also one of the most skilled fish killers at recreational fishing ponds. A rooster spur is a metal hook shaped like a rooster's natural spur, but much longer and far sharper. When roosters are fitted with these steel spurs and made to fight, it is essentially a fight to the death, because every kick can drive the spur deep into the opponent with a fatal blow. My father had been doing this work for 20 years, and the income was very high. There were probably too many roosters to count that had died in battle, because of the steel spurs my father made. As the old saying goes, every profession creates its own karma. That is truly not wrong. In the past few years, almost every night between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., my father would suddenly cry out repeatedly like a rooster crowing. Although his eyes were closed, they would dart back and forth just like the eyes of a fighting rooster. My father said that in his sleep, he often saw many large, muscular men with blood-covered legs coming to claim his life, and then he would fall into delirium and mutter incoherently. Sometimes he would even thrash violently like a fish stranded on dry land. I would shake him and try to wake him up, but I couldn't. To be honest, I was truly afraid that my father was being haunted by the spirits of the roosters and fish coming back for revenge. But I did not know what else to do except stay beside him and sincerely recite, Namo Amitabha Buddha. Every time I recited the Buddha's name like that, my father would fall back into peaceful sleep, or sometimes he would wake up and ask me,
"Did you see anyone just now?"
But avoiding it once is not the same as avoiding it forever. One time, my father came down with typhoid fever, became delirious with a high fever, and had to be taken to the hospital. As we were putting him into the ambulance, I saw a large, fierce-looking man with blood-covered legs chasing after the vehicle as if he wanted to kill someone. I pointed and asked my grandmother who he was, but she only sighed and told me I was imagining things. In truth, my grandmother knew that it was the spirit of a rooster coming to claim my father's life, but she did not want me to be afraid, so she said that the reason there were rooster spirits seeking revenge was because, by custom, any rooster that lost a fight would be slaughtered for meat afterward. Their legs were covered in blood because they had stabbed each other with the spurs. Whether directly or indirectly, my father had played a part in their deaths. So after they died, they hated him. Once, I dreamed of a woman with blood all over her mouth and wounds of various sizes, leading behind her hundreds of tiny children. I asked my grandmother to interpret the dream, and only then did I understand that she was one of the fish my father had caught while she was about to lay eggs. Because she resented my father for not letting her give birth, and causing both the mother and tens of thousands of unborn babies to die, she and her offspring were determined to come back for revenge. That must have been why my father would sometimes thrash about like a fish gasping on dry land. After that, I began reciting the Great Compassion mantra every night and dedicating the merit to my father, praying that his karmic obstacles would be reduced. I also dedicated the merit to the resentful spirits and karmic creditors who harbored hatred toward him, so that they might find liberation. Every night, I recited the mantra 5 times, and I also chanted the holy names of Shakyamuni Buddha and Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva until I fell asleep. It was truly miraculous. After only 2 short weeks of sincerely reciting the Buddha's name and chanting the mantra in this way, my father was finally able to sleep peacefully. He was no longer tormented by those vengeful spirits seeking revenge. I believed that his karma had already begun to lessen. Now it has been more than 2 months, and I still continue to recite the Great Compassion mantra every day. I have memorized it completely and can now chant it fluently without even needing to look at the text. Only recently, I dreamed of many men and women smiling at me before disappearing. I believe those spirits had finally been liberated. But I will not stop there. I will continue praying for peace and safety for my family. I truly believe in the wondrous power of the Buddhadharma.